everybody. Can we just give it a few minutes? Well, most of the attendees are signing in. Just give it a few minutes. Good morning, everybody. My name is June. I'm the marketing manager for CITIC Telecom CPC. So once again, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Beyond COVID-19, Building a Future Network Now. Once again, my name is June and I'm the marketing manager. I'm honored to have with me Mr. Loh Kam Seng, Deputy Director, Product Marketing of CITIC Telecom CPC, and Mr. Wong Chin Peng, Senior Business Development Manager of Fortinet. Both of them are going to share with you on how to build a resilient network in this uncharted time and secure SD-WAN. If you have any question, feel free to type it into the Q&A. Kam Seng and Chin Peng will answer the question at the end of each presentation. So as we know, Singapore has just entered into phase 2 and Malaysia is in recovery MCO. Authorities all over the world are concerned about the second wave of infection. I think it's interesting to know how you can help your organization to build an ideal network infrastructure that can support existing business securely, as well as have the ability to scale up effectively. So let's hear from the expert. So I'll pass over to Kam Seng to share with you more. Kam Seng, please.
Thanks, June, for the introduction. Once again, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. It is my pleasure to be here this morning with all of you and to work with Fortinet, who is our longtime partner in presenting this webinar to you. We hope that at the end of this about 1 hour or so, you will find some tips that will benefit yourself as well as your company. The title of my presentation is about resilient network in uncharted times. I believe some of us, if not most of us, have gone through crises in the past, like for example, the .com bubble burst in year 2000, the SARS epidemic, and the Asian financial crisis. But I think none of these compared to what we are going through right now in the COVID-19 pandemic. That's why I think these are uncharted times for us now and moving forward, because even if we find a vaccine for COVID-19, we are not sure how businesses will adapt, how fast we can get back to normal growth prior to COVID-19, or whether things will still be as now as what a lot of people have been saying, the new normal, right? So a lot of things are unknown moving forward. And as such, it is all the more important for IT departments, IT managers, CIOs to build a resilient network for your company so that you can meet the demands and requirements of your users and your customers and your management. Right, so let's proceed and look at what do I mean by uncharted times. And these are things that are not new. We have known about this or read about this in the news or experienced it ourselves. And of course, these 5 things that I'm going to go through briefly, these are not exhaustive, but these are things that I believe are top O's in our minds when we think about our work and our personal lives, all right? So the first thing is about our work. We are all, if not most of us, some of us are working from home, and as well as in the office on a staggered time zone, team A, team B, right? Moving forward, this may be the new normal, or it may be a flexible kind of working environment. But the other implication with regards to the workforce is that hiring managers may now come to realize that the workforce need not be constrained to a specific locale or geographical location, right? So the employment or the hiring of talents can now be further expanded on a global basis. And the company, the network in itself, need also to cater to not just a restrictive region or country, but even on a global basis. Again, it's not new, but moving forward, this may be things that will be more prominent in our companies, in our enterprise. The next thing I have in mind, which I think also foremost in most of us, is in terms of air travel. Right, all of us are now restricted in terms of flying. Our holiday plans are being disrupted, and more importantly, closer to our companies, has to do with visiting our branch offices across the world in different regions, not just in terms of our management level, but also for IT staff or maintenance staff that used to fly to data centers to maintain the servers or the equipment. And this, moving forward, again, may be restricted. Right, so how this impact our daily maintenance and operations of our company's network will have to be answered. And of course, for our management, there will be all the more even in high demand for real-time video conferencing with overseas officers, as well as real-time reporting of how business operations have been ongoing on a daily basis. Right, the third thing that will impact us is in terms of supply chains. This is ongoing currently, not just on a corporate level, but even on the government level. Right? So this will impact us in terms of how we will establish new relationships with partners and suppliers overseas, as well as how we are going to maintain existing relationships with our partners and suppliers, as well as customers. So it will impact the entire supply chain physically and as well as digitally. How are you going to plug in new suppliers into your entire supply chain processes? Right? Next is in terms of robotics and automation. We read in Singapore news that NParks have introduced this robot dog to monitor the human traffic in our parks in Singapore. So this again will be another area where companies will look into to reduce or enhance the physical and manual workforce, right, in terms of robotics and automation. And it's also not just in terms of robots, but even in terms of RPA. Some of you may have heard of this term, robot process automation, which is software that can learn repetitive processes in your entire chain, so as to minimize the repetitive data entry and checking of data. So this will reduce, again, the manual workforce required and be able to help companies to redeploy employees into other areas that will be more important and beneficial to the company. Right? Last but not least, will be in terms of consumer patterns. In the past 1 to 2 months, I believe I have ordered more things online than my entire life so far. So moving forward, this will be probably another ways that may be changing in terms of how we consume things in our lives, not just in terms of shopping, right? But even in other things like education and medicine. I believe we have read about how the trend of telemedicine is rising. And this, all this means that as a company, we need to look at how we can enhance our sales force to engage the market, not just physically, but also in the digital arena. Right. So all these factors and forces now and moving forward will shape the way of how we work as an enterprise, and more importantly, how trends are going to occur in the digital space. Right. So there are 4 things that I have listed here. Again, these are not new, but post COVID-19, these trends will all the more be accelerated. The first thing we are looking at will be SD-WAN based or software-defined network-based networks. With SDN-based networks, companies or IT teams can dynamically add and reduce the capacity into your network. And these capacities can be in the form of Ethernets, in the form of 4G, 5G, in terms of broadband internet, or even baseline internet, VIA. So by doing so, each company or enterprise on an SDN-based network can very quickly and easily scale up or even scale down if necessary. Right? So this will help to address the issues of unknowns moving forward. Let's say, for example, certain countries in the world have a drastically reduced number of COVID-19 cases, and they open up the entire economy, and it presents a new market for your company. So you want to go in quickly to capture it. Right? So with SDN-based networks, you can easily plug in your network into that country to enable your processes, your operations to move in efficiently. Right? So this is one area. The next post-COVID-19 trend that will come up will be in terms of application awareness. Again, it's not new, but in accordance, to complement the SDN-based network, you need to have application awareness in your network so that it's not just the capacity that matters, right? You can have tons of capacity in your network, but if you don't use it efficiently, it will not benefit you at all. You're just throwing money into increasing your capacity. So with application awareness, you can more efficiently utilize your bandwidth and route your application according to the importance of the application and the performance of the network accordingly. Right, so this is very important, and it also reduces the need and the time and effort of your operations team to monitor the network, because the application awareness will be able to monitor your network and your application performance automatically and route based on the metrics, the performance metrics that you have entered into the network. The third trend will be in terms of higher cloud adoption. I think with COVID-19, a lot of companies have come to realize the importance of cloud, at least for applications that they can put on the cloud and on their own self-importance data. They need to move from a on-premise hardware-based server infrastructure to at least a private cloud infrastructure. And by doing so, it will reduce the effort and the on-site requirements of IT staff to maintain the physical servers. Right? So having cloud adoption will reduce this manual labor, and in a pandemic situation like COVID-19, it will definitely help a lot to reduce the downtime of your servers, of your applications, and the access that your users have to all these platform. The last trend is to do with in terms of zero trust security, because with the higher cloud adoption, the proliferation of IoTs and bringing your own device, staff working from home, the perimeter of the enterprise network is beginning to blur, and the traditional perimeter security defense may not be as effective anymore. So it is important for companies to adopt a zero trust security concept or infrastructure. Right? We have touched on this zero trust security concept with Illumio on an earlier webinar, so I will not touch so much on this today. But having said so, all these trends coming together, right, will require a network infrastructure that is secure, agile, and resilient. So what we are talking about is really an SD-WAN WAN network that can help you to not just address the challenges of your companies today, but even moving forward. So from City Telecom CPC, we offer a one-stop shop solution whereby we are able to provide a underlay private network as well as internet-based networks for our customers. And on the other hand, cloud-based solutions in terms of public clouds, our smart cloud suite of solutions, backup replication recovery, as well as even helping customers to build private clouds. With all these infrastructure as the underlay, we can provide the overlay SD-WAN to customers that will help you to bring your business applications on the best path via the private MPLS network and other applications via the internet. And when the congestion happens or occurs in the private network, the business application will be routed via the internet, right, as a priority over the other applications. Right. So this is a very simplified overview of how the overlay SD-WAN network can come together with the underlay network to serve your users. So an SD-WAN network by itself will not work, right? It is not the transport layer. The transport layer, you will still need the transport layer, be it MPLS plus internet or internet and internet or an internet network with a 4G or 5G mobile data network. I will give a few examples or use a customer case later on to for clearer explanation. So what we have worked with Fortinet is in terms of our brand name called TrustCSIT UTM FortiGate SD-WAN solution. Together with Fortinet, we are able to provide a very unique solution whereby the FortiGate appliance, be it a physical one or a virtual appliance, will be able to provide the security layer for customers. As I mentioned just now, this is very important for an SD-WAN setup because you will not just have the private network, but also the internet underlay, which you need a security function to come in to secure the traffic end-to-end for your enterprise. Right? And the beauty of the FortiGate solution is that the appliance itself comes with the SD-WAN features, right, in terms of WAN links, load balancing, application routing, performance routing, SAS database, as well as traffic shaping. Right, so you don't need a separate box again for the SD-WAN. Right, the same box itself will offer the security functions as well as the SD-WAN features. And of course, from City Telecom CPC, we will offer our SOC on the 24/7 to customers, whereby we will proactively monitor the health of your network and will step in to inform you and rectify whenever we noted of any possible attacks or malfunction of the network. Right. With this partnership with FortiGate, we have also provided our own flavor of a lighter version of IPSec. Okay, so this is this TrustCSIT UTM Lite is not an SD-WAN by itself, but I want to share this with you to show how you can very easily ramp up from this light version to an SD-WAN network, and this is how you can really scale up when your the demand in your company increases moving forward, right? So what this TrustCSIT UTM Lite work is that we will strip off the UTM features from the FortiGate boxes and provide the IPSec tunnel between two endpoints in your network, right? Providing the secure data communication between point A to point B. And this is a cost-effective solution. Of course, it may not be suitable for all scenarios, but for offices or maybe retail shops that you are not require so much of the UTM, but just a plain vanilla firewall feature is good enough for you, then this solution will be suitable, right? So imagine a network whereby you have headquarters, you have branch offices on one hand, and the other hand, you have logistics centers and retail shops, right? So what we can do is on your headquarters and branch offices that are more critical, we will route your traffic via a private network, whereas your logistics centers and retail shops, we will connect them via the internet using UTM Lite, whereby the UTMs deployed in these centers and retail shops are stripped off of the UTM features, right, or the UTM licenses, but the internet traffic will still be encrypted using the IPSec technology. So say, for example, moving forward, the traffic load increases in the network and you want to scale up to an SD-WAN infrastructure. So what we can do is increase the licenses in the UTM boxes with the UTM features, turn on the SD-WAN features, maybe even put in additional internet links, put in one more UTM box for high availability setup. The retail shops, for example, you want to give the users or the consumers in the retail shops a free Wi-Fi connection. You can swap in the FortiGate with a Forti Wi-Fi, put in the APs, and connect them to a 4G, 5G mobile data network. Right? And all these can be connected back to each other and even to the headquarters and branch offices via the SD-WAN overlay that will be turned on all the FortiGate appliances. Right? So this is how some of our customers have scaled up and utilized the small-scale UTM Lite setup to a heavier or complete SD-WAN solution when their business grows. Right? So this is one example of how you can move forward in a post-COVID situation when the need arises. Right. So in the next few slides, I will just share two customers of ours who have come to us, and after evaluation, we have helped them to deploy SD-WAN networks. The first one is a large e-commerce enterprise, and they are actually located in Eastern Europe with many warehouses in Russia and CIS countries. My understanding is that this customer, their business is pretty big in Eastern Europe. They are somewhat like the Amazon or the Alibaba equivalent in Eastern Europe. The problem they have was that they had dual connections to the e-commerce platform, right, which is very important to their business because basically they are offering this a platform to consumers in Eastern Europe to shop and to buy their daily necessities. And over the years, as their business grows, they realize that the cost of maintaining this network is very high. And more importantly, they also have very lean IT department because their warehouses are in the far-flung remote areas across Eastern Europe and the CIS countries. So the IT staff are very stretched. If there are any problems that came up in the warehouses, it takes a lot of time, effort to travel on site to maintain, to maybe troubleshoot and swap in, swap out the hardware. And so they want to look at this area to find a partner, a solution provider that can provide a managed service to them, as well as to maximize the investment that they have put into the network, and to look at network optimization. So we went in, and what we did was that we helped them to revamp their network. Right. So each warehouse, after talking to the customer and giving them confidence in what we are doing, we have helped them to revamp this, put in this new network whereby each warehouse will have 2 links, but not 2 private links, right? They will keep an MPLS link into our network, and the other one is a DIA, basically a direct internet access, that will act as a backup to the private link if there's any congestion or when it is down. And of course, on normal days, the internet will help to serve the warehouse traffic into the e-commerce platform also. Right? At the same time, we have also deployed a Forti manager in our smart cloud for this customer, and this Forti manager will give real-time reports, status of the network to the customer. Right. So there are various benefits that they have reaped from here, but more importantly, I want to highlight is that they have really enjoyed or come to realize the ease of management and real-time visibility in adopting our solution, because prior to this, what they have been doing is work with local SIs in different countries where they operate. Right? And with the local SI, they don't really have 24/7 kind of management service to have real-time visibility into the network. Right? And also resolve the manpower problem, right? The IT team or IT staff and really concentrate on the projects that really matters to their business and leave the day-to-day operations to us. Right? The other customer we have is in the logistics industry, and this again another case where we have helped to deploy FortiGate SD-WAN into the customer's network. Right. So this is a very huge global logistics and transportation company in Asia with 70 offices across 11 countries. Again, they were looking into maximizing the IT investment and to improve the support and account servicing that they are facing from their providers. And so after rounds of RFPs, presentations, and discussions, they were very honored to receive their award. And this is what we have built for them in terms of an SD-WAN network. Again, it is a combination of our TrustConnect MPLS VPN network with the internet. Right? So you can see here that most of the sites, including the HQ and the offices, are linked both to the internet as well as to the MPLS. And whereas the rest of the logistics centers are also connected to these 2 infrastructure. Right? The important thing that I want to take note here is that you can see in the center there is this Shanghai office. So the unique thing about this customer and what we can offer to our customers has to do with China outbound traffic to the rest of the world. As some of you may know, China has a very strict policy or regulation with regards to outbound internet traffic. Right? So for even an SD-WAN network set up for customers or for yourself, if you have a sizable presence in China, you want to look into this area that you cannot just bring up internet traffic from China. You need to look at how it can be done on a very on a legal manner, and this is what we have done for our customers, whereby the traffic are being routed via a private network rather than via the internet. So this is what we can offer to our customers. So again, the benefits are various. Some of them are self-explanatory, but I just want to highlight that with this solution, this customer is able to enjoy the security protection that comes with the FortiGate SD-WAN solution, because the traffic that is being routed via the internet is very important and critical to be encrypted. And again, they have a greater visibility and control over the network performance, because in the logistics business, they need to know whether they're providing the service to the customers on time, and they need to track the data and the goods that are being shipped across the world. And so they need the data to be feedback constantly and in time to their servers, to the data centers for processing, and to be shared not just within their own company, with their management, but also with their customers. So all this real-time visibility control, and as well as the security portion, are critical to them, and this can be realized via an SD-WAN solution that can offer reliability and redundancy. So I'm coming to the end of my presentation. Just bear with me for just another 5 minutes or so. I want to just do a bit of marketing pitch, if you don't mind. So why us, right? Why CPC? We are part of the CITIC Group, which was ranked 137th last year in the Fortune Global 500 list of companies. So we are not a fly-by-night company. We have been in business for more than 10 years, and we have been serving customers from across different industries, from different countries, SMEs, as well as even MNCs, right, in Singapore and across the world. So we are here to work with you to understand your challenges and see how we can resolve them and serve you better. Okay, so we are also providing a True Connect private network platform to customers, which is again very important, because MPLS is not going away just because SD-WAN is here. In fact, more than half of companies in the world that have adopted SD-WAN have kept their private MPLS network. Right? So this is to stay, and if you have extensive presence on a global basis or even a regional basis, then do approach us and see how we can help you in this network. Cloud, as I've mentioned earlier, will be accelerated in terms of adoption. So again, it is very important to for customers to look for a cloud provider that can serve you in the markets that are important to you. Right? So we have 18 cloud centers across the world based on VMware infrastructure or platform. Right? So as you may know, VMware is the leading enterprise cloud platform provider in the world. So we are very pleased to work with them to have our own cloud centers to serve our customers wherever they are. Right? So last but not least, we have worked with the best of breed partners, including, of course, Fortinet, who is with us this morning. And behind the solutions that we are offering to our customers is our team of professionals, and as well as our 24/7 help desk, network operation centers, and security operation centers to serve our customers around the clock. Okay, so with that, I want to thank you for your patience and end my presentation. As Jay has mentioned, if you have any questions, please type into the Q&A section, and I will be pleased to answer them at the end of Chin Ping's presentation. So without further delay, I want to hand the time to Chin Ping, who is quite a sought after speaker. In fact, before this presentation, he is engaged in another webinar. So, Chin Ping, over to you.
Thanks, Kamsing. Yeah, so I was trying to fix the video, but I still can't get my video up, so not too sure. Yeah. So June, I'll need your help. But while June is fixing that, maybe one quick question for you, Kamsing. CPC has been, I know you've been providing MPLS network services. Just now you showed us as well, right? So MPLS is networking, SD-WAN is networking as well. So do you see SD-WAN, coming in, eroding your business, in the MPLS part of things? So how do you balance this approach to your customers?
Okay. This is a tricky question.
Not difficult, I won't ask you.
Okay, thanks for the question. I think the SD-WAN is something when it first came into the market, has not just make network providers like CPC, but even others to sit up to take a look and impacted us in a way. I have to agree that to a certain extent at the very beginning, we were not pretty sure what to do or how to respond, because they are the so-called true blue SD-WAN providers, right? But along the way, some of them, if not most of them, have quietened down. And I believe the reason is because the market and customers came to realize that, hey, SD-WAN is just an infrastructure on top of the underlying networks like MPLS, Internet. So it is the underlying MPLS network will still be here to stay. And we have now realized that SD-WAN is actually good for everybody, not just customers, but even for so-called traditional MPLS providers like us, because it gives us more opportunities to serve both our existing customers and even those who are using other MPLS providers. Right? So we can go to a customer. In fact, we have a customer right now with us who are using another MPLS provider, but they choose to engage us to provide and manage the SD-WAN layer for them, so that they don't put all the eggs into one basket. So we are pretty happy and comfortable right now as both an MPLS as well as SD-WAN provider. And when we go to our customer, how we balance the approach or table to them is that, hey, Mr. Customer, what is your requirements? And we will truly provide the best fit kind of suite of solution for them. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Yeah, I think excellent. I think one key thing that I can hear from this is about innovation, right? And we can't stop innovation from happening. I think end of the day, it is to also help our customers. And from your arena, probably it's in the networking space, make it helping customers improve the way that they operate, improve their total cost of ownership, and end of the day, it's about the business and about their profitability. So thanks, Kamsing, and maybe just introduce myself again. My name is Chin Ping. You can call me CP. So I'm responsible for business development in Fortinet, Southeast Asia, and Hong Kong. region. So one of my key areas of work is in secure SD-WAN. So some of you may see the title right on the screen here. I hope you can see my screen now. It's a little bit strange that we are supposed to talk about SD-WAN, but here I am saying that it is dead. So it's meant to jolt all our thinking a little bit, right? Because while there's much hype and excitement around SD-WAN, many realize that it has to go hand in hand with security. So I want to propose that, SD-WAN on its own is dead. Instead, it has to be married with security, and hence secure SD-WAN should be the de facto deployment for any SD-WAN network. Okay, so why is that so? I'll start with explaining my point on why secure SD-WAN, and in particular, how Fortinet secures your SD-WAN implementation. I'll then show some common use cases, and through these use cases, I highlight the importance of SD-WAN at work and how security is very much part of this entire implementation. And finally, I want to be able to share with you a case where Fortinet collaborated with a service provider to deliver a secure SD-WAN to our customer. Okay. So let's first understand why there's this push towards SD-WAN, right? And the desire to simplify the WAN infrastructure. It boils down to these few factors. Firstly, we are looking for ways to improve the operational effectiveness of the networking team because studies have shown that more than 70% of organizations still rely on command line driven configurations and management of their routing infrastructure. So despite spending a good portion of operational expenses on their WAN infrastructure, many organizations still struggle with providing good user experience to their end users. Okay, so user experience, I think, at the end of the day, ties back to the productivity of the organizations itself, isn't it? So one of the reasons is due to a fundamental change in their network architecture because of increased multi-cloud access, software as a service adoption. So lastly, organizations need direct internet access to benefit from all this cloud adoption. And when that comes true, security will continue always to be a concern. So while SD-WAN promises to simplify the complexities associated with legacy WAN infrastructure. So at one end, on the left here, you see, SD-WAN promises to simplify the way we operate. Right? This simplification must bring us benefits like a reduction in total cost of ownership through easier management. And this basically means an increase in productivity of our network managers, network administrators. But we cannot sacrifice quality, right, with TCO reduction. It should all come up at the same time. And we want to strive for better user experience so that it eventually can translate to better productivity for the organization. And of course, we talk about security. So secure connectivity to the cloud, to the internet is a must as well. Right. So simplification and functionality must come hand in hand. And it is realized in the secure SD-WAN technology that Fortinet pioneered 3 years ago. So one of our Fortinet's pioneering innovations is in the field of secure SD-WAN, right? And it is the SoC4 ASIC, System on Chip 4 ASIC, which was unveiled last year, right? This in addition to the other patents related to security and SD-WAN, right? These related innovations have benefited our customers globally, and is widely recognized by the industry in both technical and market analysis. So in fact, last year, 2019, saw Fortinet leapfrogging the competition to take the number 3 spots in the SD-WAN market, right, in terms of revenue. That's according to Gartner. So in this region alone, I cover Southeast Asia and Hong Kong, right? So we've also seen a huge take-up, right, with more than 200 customers in the past 1 year. And we had large SD-WAN implementations of a few thousand sites, right, for a single customer. And I'm not talking about one, right? It's a few customers, each with a few thousand sites, right? So that's the kind of scale and scalability that we can expect. These customer implementations have taken advantage of Fortinet's innovations in secure SD-WAN. We've shown that the solution is highly scalable, very flexible, and most importantly, right, delivered the user experience that they very much want to have. So for the network and security management teams, they've been able to benefit from a unified central management of their entire network and security, as well as simplified visibility and reports, right, to convenience their day-to-day operations. So of the many use cases we've seen, right, from the many implementations, I would say these are the most common use cases for businesses when it comes to choosing Fortinet's secure SD-WAN solution. Right. Firstly, it is to preserve application performance, right? i.e. to improve the user experience for what counts, right? Which is the business application user experience. Next, on the bottom right here, it's to help simplify their operations, from cost reduction to simplification and automation of their WAN operations, right? Basically to reduce the total cost of ownership of the WAN. Thirdly, we've also seen a significant number of take-ups in terms of at the same time to simplify their branch network build-up, right? Operations and maintenance as well. So, and this basically also help to reduce their total cost of ownership of the entire branch network. So now let's take a look at these use cases. Okay, we'll start with improving business application performance. So we know today that most of you would have your business applications either in a data center or in the cloud, right? The cloud can be both private and public, IaaS or SaaS, or even a UCaaS, right? Unified Comms. Now these are just a means to an end, right? They're there because they help to run your business. And most importantly, we need to realize that they can only be productive to your business if you give your users the right user experience. I'm talking about application performance here. So one of the key factors that will impact your application performance is going to be the WAN, right? So this is where SD-WAN comes in. Helps you to route the traffic of those important business applications to deliver the desired application performance. And I think I mentioned the cloud just now as well, right? So basically, your office network is going to be connected to the internet to access the cloud. So that's going to require security to protect your LAN network. And in today's cyber threat landscape, a next-gen firewall will be needed to secure your network perimeter. So which is exactly what the secure SD-WAN will give you. An SD-WAN solution that will deliver the optimal performance to your business applications, as well as securing your office infrastructure, right, at the same time. So how Fortinet delivers this is twofold, right, which includes both application security, application performance and security. So we obviously need to handle both WAN routing and security at the same time. right? In contrast with traditional WAN routing, which is generally destination-based, I would say. Like SD-WAN adds a few additional elements to it, the ability to identify your applications, including 5,000 over SaaS applications, right? Measure their performance according to the different parameters that your business requires before sending them down the right path. We also assume that networks will and do break from time to time. That's where remediation techniques are built, right, into the SD-WAN itself to help maintain the level of performance that some applications will need, or actually these applications will need. So all these are delivered on the FortiGate, same device, same OS, which is a leading next-gen firewall in the network security space. So besides getting best of breed in terms of SD-WAN routing, you are getting security functions and secure connectivity that you would expect from a market leader like Fortinet itself. So let's look at the second use case now, which is to simplify and automate operations. Right, we've handled the users, make sure that they get a secure, good user experience. We need to also take care of our operations team, right? The people who are managing this entire network. So the key driver behind this is to improve the productivity of the networks and security operations teams. By that, we aim to provide a centralized orchestration and automation system which extends to analytics and reports for both the SD-WAN network and by extension, right? We are talking about application performance as well and as network security. So both on the single platform. Okay, so all these functions you see here, centralized management, analytics and reporting, zero-touch deployments and compliance checks and reports can be delivered over a single pane of glass. What this means for the operations teams is really that they do not need to swivel chair, right? Swivel chair between different screens to get their work done. So I think this is a lot of advantage in terms of improving productivity. And if you realize, like today's teams is about in the COVID-19 situation and all that, we have your operations team working from home. So we don't have the luxury of multiple screens. Right? So a single pane of glass management will help a lot in assisting the network management team to complete their work with higher productivity. Right. So just as an example, right, what you see here is the SD-WAN orchestrator, which is built into the same centralized management platform for security. It basically enables you to build your entire SD-WAN network, right, complete with the SLAs needed for the business applications. Okay, and when it comes to regular reporting, this chart instantly shows, right, the benefits you're getting from your secure SD-WAN deployment, right? Everything within a single pane of glass. Understand what's going on. When there's a question, you are able to then very quickly respond to any potential failures and events and incidents as well. And for more detailed reports, right, a complete secure SD-WAN report for the infrastructure team. So all these are coming together with the aim of helping you as network managers to and security managers as well to better operate your WAN network. Okay, and finally, I would like to say that secure SD-WAN does not need to end at the WAN edge, right? We should consider extending that single pane of glass management that we talked about just now, right, into the entire branch network. You've heard Kam Seng talk about the customers in logistics. I would also say that the many customers have taken up, right? Before, when I started my presentation, we're talking about thousands of sites. So productivity and how you manage all those thousands of sites is important. So while we are at the WAN edge, we should also be looking at further into the branch itself, how we can simplify and improve the branch network operations. Okay, and by this, I'm referring to Fortinet's branch-in-a-box solution. We call it the Secure SD branch. The Secure SD branch solution basically adds the most common infrastructure requirements in offices, right, and branches to the Secure SD-WAN solution. And I'm talking about LAN switches, wireless access, and in this case, right, I'm referring to the FortiSwitch, all right, and the FortiAP. So the beauty of this solution is that the FortiSwitch, FortiAPs, and even the Forti extender here, you see, as giving 3G, 4G modem connectivity, right, are managed and controlled from the FortiGate itself and the central manager, right? Central manager, like what I showed you just now. So it is a true single pane of glass management for the entire branch network, right? And the entire secure SD-WAN, secure SD branch network. So the whole reason behind consolidating all these functions, right, into a single centralized management is so we can drive further simplification and lower total cost of ownership. So if you compare a traditional branch network that is being built, you need typically to manage multiple devices, the firewall for network security, the SD-WAN device, wireless controllers, switches, right? Now this will impact the productivity of your network engineer, right? And typically these guys probably won't be on site. We are talking about thousands, right? Yeah. So let's just assume that the network engineer can simultaneously manage 50 devices, right, at one time. So he can effectively manage 10 of these branches, right? 50 divided by 5. And I would say that is his productivity metric. But if we simplify and consolidate all these devices into one, the FortiGate itself, right, which is now the firewall, the SD-WAN, and wired and wireless controller, plus I mentioned just now the 3G, 4G modem controller as well, right? That same engineer would now be able to probably manage up to 50 branches, right? Because he needs to just manage one device per branch. So instantly you've kind of improved your productivity by up to 5 times. Right? So at the end result of this, right, is this screenshot of the GUI that you see in one branch. So you'll find that the topology of the entire branch network neatly discovered, presented to you, right, saves time, right, to in terms of plotting it out on visual or what have you, right? Eliminates human errors, right? End of the day, it's all for better productivity. So hence, you'll be able to reduce your TCO, right? But how is this so, right? This table considers the differences between a traditional branch setup versus a secure SD branch, right? That will impact the TCO. You'll need lesser footprint, okay? When it comes to deploying an SD branch solution. This translates to lesser space, lesser power, lesser cooling requirements maybe, right? So you may want to also keep maintenance spares. That's an inventory portion. Lesser number of devices means you need lesser maintenance spares. And that's an investment cost to you. And of course, a warehousing cost as well, right? So this deployment, operation and maintenance of the secure SD branch relies on a single management platform, which will be easier to operate. And you only need to keep one set of engineer skill sets, right? Again, this is a lower training cost for you as well. And lastly, a single platform also means lesser dependencies, right, on items ranging from installation, deployment to integration. And these are all crucial to on-time commissioning of your deployment projects. And we know that, for the project managers, right, on-time commissioning is really important to project management. And earlier you can enjoy the benefits of your network investments. So secure SD-WAN has been around, and SD-Branch, right, has been around for the last, I would say, 3 years. And I would like to share with you a particular customer case before I conclude my presentation. But before that, right, just like to share with you the customer testimonials. Customers worldwide have given Fortinet great reviews and testimonies, right, naming us within the 2020 Gartner Peer Insights Customer Choice, right, for WAN Edge infrastructure. So you can see here some of the great reviews that our customers have given us. So down to this customer, they are a health and wellness group in Southeast Asia and Hong Kong region. So they operate in 6 countries under 5 different brands, right, with a total of more than 150 branches. So they've grown to this size basically through acquisitions. They have multiple MPLS networks to operate. So obviously not the best way, right, due to cost and complexity, right, coupled with the fact that they are also going on through a digital transformation project to migrate to the public cloud services, right? Microsoft Azure for IaaS and Office 365 and for productivity, Salesforce for CRM. They wanted to simplify the networks by adopting SD-WAN technologies and was looking for a service provider to run the entire network for them, right? So including the lines, right? So this new network is supposed to provide them with better user and application experience, and of course, secure internet access for both their staff, right, and club members, right, when they are in the clubhouse. So we were able to provide prove the effectiveness of the Fortinet secure SD-WAN solution in addressing their challenges in a POC in their live environment, right, mind you. So it's live test, and eventually the project was awarded to our service provider partner, which provided the internet lines, deployment services, and centralized management platform as well. Right. So in conclusion, I'm happy to share, right, that Fortinet and CPC is collaborating to deliver secure SD-WAN services to you. With Fortinet providing you with industry-leading secure SD-WAN technologies, CITIC Telecom CPC providing the one-stop delivery and management of connectivity and security services, right? And through this collaboration, we strive to provide you, our enterprise customers, with improved cloud application performance, better control of your network. At the end of the day, it will help you improve your total cost of ownership of your WAN infrastructure and even your branch infrastructure as well. Right. So I would like to leave you with these 3 key points. Right. Firstly, while you consider adopting SD-WAN for your business, make sure that security is always part of this decision. Right. Hence, secure SD-WAN. Secondly, integrating both security and SD-WAN functions into secure SD-WAN is how you can realize the improvements, right? I.e. simplicity and functionality, right? They're both SD-WAN technology, that SD-WAN technology, or I should say secure SD-WAN technology promises you, right? And lastly, do go one step further to extend your secure SD-WAN to a secure SD branch, right? So that you can further realize productivity improvements, right, for your entire network management team. All right, so with that, I conclude my presentation. I'll hand the time back to June, and I think we're going to have some Q&A, right?
Thank you, Kam Seng and Chin Ping, for your presentation. So currently there's no Q&A, so we will wrap up the session. But in case you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email. We will answer your inquiry offline. So I hope our webinar has given you some insight on how to manage your organization operational challenge during this difficult time. And thank you all for attending the webinar. Please remember to scan the QR code at the end of the thank you slide at the end and give us your feedback about this session. For winners who won the Grab Food voucher, we'll be sending you a separate email about the voucher. Thank you all once again, and I hope to see you during our next webinar. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.